You guys want to know what my future is with Dead Frontier 2? Stay tuned and find out in this video.
Welcome back, guys. This is going to be a new video series chronicling our time with a game. And what we're going to do is we're going to run down our entire timeline. The beginning, the middle, and sadly the end. So let's get into it.
Guys, welcome to No Exit, Dead End.
Starting from the beginning, how'd you get into DF2? And specifically DF2, we've heard your DF1 story like 30 times already.
Well, maybe not exactly 30 times, but it's a good enough time, and I'll post up this video just for reminder. If you guys didn't know, I played Dead Frontier 1 originally, but how I got into DF2, I was very much so a Resident Evil streamer. I played Resident Evil nonstop, max. That's what I did. And whenever I could, especially back in the day, when, you know, broke guy, broke kid, you had to basically make do with what games you had, and I really enjoyed the Resident Evil series. So I would play every Resident Evil I could, from the GameCube, PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and so on and so forth. I didn't until recently, and once I got a good enough computer, and I actually started streaming, funny enough, I was able to rebuy all the games for Steam, and that's when I started switching over and becoming a PC gamer. But I then was starting to play non-stop Resident Evil games on the PC. The difference being is that I also streamed at the same time I was playing Resident Evil games. Now, the funny thing is, there's a very specific community, very specific community for Resident Evil games, and that is speedrunners. And I'm not good enough to be a speedrunner. And God bless those guys, because thanks to them, I'm able to beat my own records, and I'm able to beat, you know, whatever record I need for this or that, or, you know, no save, or, you know, best, quickest way to make it safely. I'm a hoarder. And again, what is this game? This game allows you to be a hoarder. So I'm looting. So whenever I go through Resident Evil and whatnot, I like picking up the extra herb. I like picking up the extra ammo. Even though I know I will probably never use all this ammo, especially if you play the game right. But then this game came around. In addition to this game coming around, it was recommended by Mono. Mono also told me that it was free-to-play game, and he said, didn't you play this game back when it was DF1? And then, you know, long story short, here we are, Dead Frontier 2. It is free-to-play. Zombie shooter. Looter.
Holy
shit. There's a world for me to go. Because basically the game that I spent a lot of my time playing when I first started streaming at the beginning of 2019 was Resident Evil. Outside of all the Resident Evils and Resident Evil 2 and everything, the one that really got me for a while was Resident Evil Revelations. I played that raid mode so much, so often, and just being able to go through, play online, play co-op, get all the different characters, get to level them up, and I believe just by leveling up, you level all of them up, so it's not one of those things kind of like in Revelations 2 where they made it where you have to level every character individually. That's a little grindy, but I mean, overall, yeah, it's fine. This one's cool. And that's my long/quick take on how I got into Dead Frontier 2.
Well, at this point, you've learned the game. You're now in like an experimental phase. What was your play style after you got all the kinks out?
I mean, as far as I was playing, like, we started from like the noob zone and just running around with your characters naked, because in this game you can have naked characters, although, you know, because I was streaming, I put the filter on so you can't see them naked, because I didn't know what the guidelines were for streaming that kind of stuff. But I enjoyed this game for the ability to do missions, and originally missions were very difficult in the point, not really very difficult, it was tedious. And majority of people don't like tedious stuff. So what used to happen is you would have to go find an NPC or find one of the survivors, usually typically in the outpost. But the best missions were like somewhere in a building. And then, of course, all these buildings, all these characters, all these NPCs are randomly generated. So you didn't know where they were. And that's where something, this great, awesome thing right here that I've freaking used as like a Bible, which was the damn DF2 Haven. And with that thing alone, I was able to find and just smash out so many missions. And that was my playstyle. I enjoyed missions. I enjoyed playing like a role-playing game and getting into it as if I'm playing an actual survival game as a survivor. It's like I can't just go out there and boss all the time. And eventually that's what happened. That is where you get the best gear. That is where you get everything. But I just enjoyed leveling. I enjoyed grabbing things. I enjoyed looting. And that's pretty much where it changed up.
Wait, so that means that everyone else didn't do missions?
Not necessarily, no. Majority of people would usually boss. And just in my head, my dumb head, I was thinking, okay, you're in a zombie apocalypse. What would push you to actively go out and seek the bosses that could end you, that kills you? Because to me, maybe, obviously I didn't skill my overall character or characters, because I have, as you can see, 14 alts. I had plenty of time to kind of pick and choose and dissect and switch up to different kinds of, switch up to different kinds of builds. And the number one build I like is just being able to take out zombies one shot, one kill. Give or take. I mean, sometimes it takes two, whatever, but it turns out there are things that I was expecting, because I tried everyone. I have a character for pistols, I have a character for shotguns, a character for rifles, which I still feel they need to be upgraded or just fixed. That's why I released that video. Just they're not as strong. Pistols are way better. The ammo costs less, and then also just the overall stacks and the stacks of ammo. Pistols always go to 100, then it drops, and then shotguns cost the most. But shotguns are the only ones right now that can actually hit multiple targets. That should be the exact same thing that rifles can. And again, I outlined it in that one video. But yeah, majority of people are bossers, and they skill everything against mutated. But I enjoyed shooting the I enjoyed being, I guess, a zombie hunter. Because if you're just a boss hunter, you're only going to encounter them by going into the houses, before you needed keys, and then that changed a lot, so now you don't need keys anymore. But now you just got to go in the red question mark doors. But prior to that, you had to seek them out. But I wanted to make my characters be able to fight easily all the things that you're going to run into the most, which are zombies. And it's a zombie survival game. So with that, I wanted to fight zombies. But I wanted to be like, I don't know, a special zombie, a random loot thing. And yeah, I guess that's where the biggest change for most people happened, when I was the guy running missions. And granted, that's the only way I can help people, because if you boss, that's the biggest thing. Let's say that I enjoy playing with people and enjoy playing with new people, introducing people to the game. But then if you're just bossing, they can't really do anything. They don't want to get the aggro, because if they get the aggro, they're probably going to die. Especially if a tendril runs up on them. I get smacked up by a damn tendril while I'm looting this. Wow, 36. Wow! Okay, ask and you shall receive. And they don't have any speed gear, or they're not kitted with jogger. They don't have jogger gear or good sprint cooldown, anything like that. They're going to get caught up to tendril or hoax and kill them. They're done. And then in addition to that, are they going to get any EXP? Because then, if they're there bossing, all they're going to get is the loot, which may or may not be good. And that's a big question. I get it. The loot drops are good stuff, supposed to be good stuff, but here we are still waiting, for level 50.
Whoa, he's breakdancing.
And right now, just everything's kind of the same.
Spins.
And you're kind of playing a numbers game, and you don't really know what's the best.
Amazing.
So to me, I just been waiting, and that's the number one reason why I have almost all 14 characters, Prestige 5, level 30. Although I think Keith Lumley, he's the one that I have been doing most of my recent videos on. He's like maybe, was it 800,000 or 600,000 away from Prestige 5. But the problem, I kind of moved away because, again, after I got everyone else to Prestige 5, level 30, I got them all kitted up for the most part correctly, right? I got, if you were to combine all the cash I have with my characters, around about, what, like 4 million? I don't know. Maybe more? I don't know. It's been a long time since I actually checked. I don't really put anything up for stupid crazy amounts. And that's just me grabbing stuff, looting, and selling stuff. I was also trying to build up as many of the elite enhancers as possible. Because before, another reason why I created so many characters too is because you can only prestige 5 times. And every prestige you get 1 elite enhancer. There was no other way of getting elite enhancers. I want to say, I don't even know, am I sitting on like 40 elite enhancers or something like that? I got a pretty good number. Hey, it's a soft flex because at this point, I'm absolutely sure everybody else already has more than I have in terms of elites. Because now he changed it within like the last 6 months or like 4 to 5, 6 months. He made it so once you are max level, again, I miss the old way because whenever you prestige, you got a free stat reset. But now the only way to reset your stats is you have to buy stat resets. You have to use what, 100 credits, which I think is roughly about $5. Like, yeah, $2 to $5 or something like that to reset your stats. Otherwise, you're stuck with whatever you got. And that's why I was able to experiment with as many of the different builds that I could possibly have. And that's why every character I have a melee character, you know. And then eventually, since I have 14, you know, there's only so many melee, so many rifles, so many pistols. Now that I have combos, so I have like machine gun and pistol, or I have rifle and shotgun, or I have melee and submachine gun. You know, I got every possible creation or mix of character, but yeah, just waiting for level 50 has been kind of wearing on me. So now, the more and more I've been going, it just, I don't know. Yeah, just pulling me down in a way, I guess. And that's the main reason why I haven't really been streaming DF2 lately.
So with that, when you play an MMO, for example, the grind part is how you get your resources. You do the quests, you get parts, you sell them, or you craft or whatever. So I guess the people in this game, they just try to skip that and go straight to, I guess, raid bosses or whatever.
I'm interested.
I guess that's a good way to put it. And not only that, I mean, props to them. I know there's some players out there that are gods. Like, supposedly they can run through, like, all the buildings in Greywood, and they even have, like, words for it, like Street 1, Street 2, Outskirts. And again, I've never done it because I just didn't see a thing. And plus, I didn't want it to be, what's the word, mechanical? I didn't, because people always ask, how's the grind sometimes? And it's just like, I'm not really grinding. I'm leveling, I'm experiencing the world, I'm trying to play it, you know, I'm trying to play it like an MMO or like an RPG, but for me, personally, just for me, if I were to play just Outskirts and bosses and just going from room to room, killing the boss, this and that, it's not fun. Does that make sense?
Because it's like a job.
Yeah, it would become more of a job, and I think slowly that's what started happening to me. I started to think more and more of playing the game as a job. Because now, that's the number one reason why I also haven't finished Keith to getting him to level 30, or level Prestige 5, level 30, because I was saying it to everybody. I was like, damn, I only have one character left, and it's Keith, and the second I get him to Prestige 5, level 30, for me, well, there's nothing left. And I didn't want to get to a point where I'm just sitting there going like, okay, now what? Because I think personally, I myself, it's rough to say because I was looking for something in the game, but the game's the game. It's never going to change. The game, it's a looter shooter.
What's that?
And I don't believe you were meant to play this game as often as I did. Like, I'm pretty sure I played this game for maybe a year straight. Just about every single day. I never took any breaks, and I mean, come on, dude, I have so many alts, and I haven't really played it outside of making my daily cosmetic videos, which sadly, you know, some people enjoy it, but, you know, I don't know if it's got any long term on that.
Well, it keeps you connected to the game.
Very much so. And with that, it allows me to do quick little updates, but yeah, I did that as kind of like just to help out the guys, because some of the guys were saying, hey man, can you do some cosmetic things? So I would always bring it up every time I play, every day, but I was like, I'll try. And typically I work early mornings, so when I work early mornings, I would literally be waking up 2 or just before 3 a.m. trying to smash that video out real quick, and then I'm off to work. So it wasn't exactly, for me, taxing, you know, because although I did it, you know, I still been doing it, but I think sadly that's probably going to eventually come to an end, especially since we're looking more and more at the exact same items over and over again. So at this point, until new things happen or anything like that, I think I'm just going to put a hold on the cosmetic videos and just focus on my other videos I've been working on.
So it's obvious at this point now, like, your play style doesn't really match with the general public. And now you've played the game for about a year straight. I'll compare a little bit to Dota 2. It's like when you go into a game with a strategy, and no one else wants to even form a strategy, or they want to work with you. They just have their own gameplay in mind. And now that you've developed your play style and it's not receptive to anybody else, what happened to your mindset when playing this game?
Well, I mean, as far as mindset-wise, it's not... It definitely felt like... How can I say it? It's not really like me wanting to try and be a rebel. It's like, oh, I don't boss. I just was looking for other ways to play this game. Maybe that is like rebellious, or just, oh, I'm trying to be different from the pack. But just, like I said, it didn't, just bossing in general, just to me wasn't fun. And I guess that's what it all came down to. What is fun? And I feel the second you stop having fun, and again, going back to Dota 2, there was a player named Sumail who, honestly, with him, when he wanted to play the game and he just was in love with the game, everybody wanted to play Dota 2. Everybody was playing Dota 2. And then just one day, he just didn't have fun anymore. And because of that, he just dropped out, started playing Battle Royales and things like that. And then just, yeah, that drastically changed the overall landscape of the game. It changed people wanting to play Dota, changed people wanting to be like Sumail, and it stopped Sumail from wanting to even just engage and play the game itself. He just started branching out, playing other things, and I think he even said on maybe like a commentating gig, he was all like, I think he was asking OG at the time, he was like, hey, how do you guys still winning and playing the game like this? And they say, hey, well, we're just having fun, man. And he's like, I'm not having fun anymore.
Well, and to be fair, like, it's kind of like what you went through this game, where they changed the mission system, and you can correlate that to Dota by them changing Storm Spirit and them changing the more like flashy, high damage, high risk, high reward kind of play style. And when a dev team kind of forces the game in a direction that doesn't make the game exciting, it kind of plateaus the player base into, hey, I need to play this way, or I'm not going to play it at all. It's not as fun. I mean, I understand it though, because it puts the game in a direction, but it's not the direction everyone wants to go.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's pigeonholed, I guess you can say. Like,
Sure.
I was kind of... And it goes back to just, I feel I probably overexposed myself to the game. I was looking for something, and it's even hard for me to think of it now, because, again, the game is the game. He made it, and it's a single dev. Props to him. Loved it for it. Love the fact that he's still going. It just, in a way, I kind of feel that he sadly is going the route of like a Lineage and a Lineage 2 in terms of this game, where he knows his bread and butter is Dead Frontier 1. People are still going at it, you know. People support the shit out of that game. In terms of DF2, when he makes more revenue and has a bigger following on Dead Frontier 1, why continue really working on DF2? It's like a side project. I get it, you know, so update what works for you. and come back later to DF2. Sadly, I came in at the part of DF2 and was really enjoying it. I had the vibe of like Resident Evil Revelations, and to me, I guess I was looking for something, and I was trying to make DF2 what I was looking for. I was trying to find that thing that allowed me to level up. I was trying to find that thing that allowed me to find good loot. I was trying to force this game to be what I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. It's a looter shooter made by a single dev. I can't ask the world when majority of like AAA titles and stuff can't even get it right with hundreds of millions of dollars and hundreds, maybe thousands of people working on the game.
And that's something that sucks is when you have kind of a PvE mindset, and PvE isn't just go do instances and raids. It's you're gonna craft, you're gonna do quests, you want to build your gear, and you don't do that fighting the fucking Brock Lesnar fucking mobs. You do that hunting and finding the little mobs and looking for the drops. It's a bit more grindy, and especially in North America. I don't know I can't really speak for Europe, but I know for sure North America doesn't like grind. And the thing about getting to a certain level and going to boss, you almost step over the grind. So I get the mindset behind that, but for a player who doesn't want to just gamble all their resources, going for the biggest guy in the room and possibly losing, I understand the mindset.
Because, all right, I'll be real with it. My characters are not set up for bossing. And then typically, whenever I ran into or encountered a Tendril, like especially at lower levels or a Roid Hulk, I didn't know the strats to beat them. They were always faster than me. And I was just kind of like, man, I'm trying to turn my quest. And then I just died. And then I just lost my EXP. It's like, fuck you, boss. I'm going to run my ass around you and you're never going to see me. Screw you, right? And it sucks because, like, I get it. Bosses and everything are exciting. They bring things and just overall wonderment and amazement. But just, I was trying to create something out of this game. I was trying to, who am I to tell a dev, hey, you need to make missions that are more acclimated to the way I want to play? The fuck he cares about me? It's his game. If he wants to make it the way he wants to make it, I'm just being a complete pompous asshole trying to request and force him to be. And I constantly say it all the time for some of those people that would come into my random lobbies, the semi-noob zone, which started off as the noob zone, and then, funny enough, I finally hit like level 30, and a lot of level 30s were in my noob zone, and I guess some players were in the lobby thinking, none of you guys are really noobs. And I'm like, oh, well, then I started creating the semi-noob zone. That is the naming of how it began. And then, yeah, I've stuck with the semi-noob zone. That's what I made. And I was having fun with it. And then also another thing is that I have a slight addictive personality, and just, I guess, also addiction to new things. I mean, in this modern era, it's so easy to get addicted. Like, reward systems, notifications, updates, and just... Especially when I read that roadmap for Dead Frontier 2, and he's like, oh, I'll have this stuff out possibly by 2020, or, early 2020, or middle of 2020, or, end of 2020. And then now maybe middle of 2021. And then just like I told you, I legit was playing this game straight on through, all the way through. And just, yeah, man, in my mind, I fucked up because I was trying and waiting and trying to create this into what I wanted it to be. But it's not. I can't be that person that forces somebody else to make it my way, because I'm not the one making it. This is Admin Pone's game, and yeah, it's just something... This game was so much fun, because typically I played other MMOs and everything like that, and I would get in and the community just says, like, fuck off. I hate you. Get out of here. But again, it could have been because I was, I had the luck of being a streamer at the time, and there weren't that many people streaming Dead Frontier 2 when I was playing. There was mainly that BJ guy. That's who I remember. I haven't seen him for a long time either, but hopefully he's doing well. But I would stream and I would see him, and it would just basically be me and him. And I was like, cool, yeah. So I mean, that guy, I remember he would do what I would do. He would, I think, just run, loot everything, and then sell it. And I'm like, dude, awesome. And see, like, he and I would get stuff, but I wouldn't really sell that much. I was kind of the hoarder. I would sell mainly, what would I mainly sell? I would mainly sell weapons and armor. Because all the food, well, also some food too, but the heals I always kept for myself because I was really bad at not getting hit, and especially if I encountered a chance boss, I would possibly die, so I needed a shit ton of heals. And yeah, so basically, I was just trying to say that another way you could have played this game is be the guys that restocked the market, because it's a cool thing that this is a self-controlled market, but if people aren't selling stuff to the market guy, you don't have stuff. So then that's why some of those times when the prices would just skyrocket to like, I don't know, like $1,000 per, like, you know, pee bag or a paramedics bag. I called it pee bag because it's funny. And then just everything just rose up because you don't have the people selling to the market. So I was saying things like make missions where you can sell to the market and you get EXP, or just, you know, make it more connected. But again, I can't force someone else to make something like that, because then I'm just being an asshole. I'm not the creator. So, and it took a long time for me to realize this. And that going back to what I was talking about, like Sumail and just overall burnout or just overexposure, I think for me playing for almost a year straight every single day, back during like end of 2019 into 2020, like, yeah, crazy.
So obviously you haven't played the game for a while. You injured your bicep, so you couldn't really play on keyboard and mouse. And obviously, as you said in the last segment, you burnt yourself out on the game. You developed a play style that not a lot of people used, and you're pretty much, you and that other guy were pretty much the only people doing the mission play style. So recently, you've been playing a lot of like old school RPG type games, kind of back to basics, just having fun, reading the dialogue in different voices. And what are your future plans? Like, are you just gonna take an extended break from this game and every time there's a big update, check out what's going on, or are you just gonna outright just not play the game anymore?
Starting off, that was a big question because, again, if you're not having fun, and if you're finding it and feeling like, and you were dumb like me, and were trying to meld it and force it to be what you wanted, which is very pompous and arrogant and stupid, but if you're trying to do it that way, it is best to always just take some time away, just break off. And that's what I've done. And I played a little bit, and I had fun just shooting some zombies. No missions or nothing. When I logged in to do a little bit of the daily cosmetics, and I was just shooting some zombies. I'm like, yeah, this is fun again. Just shooting zombies. Of course, now I need to get, some sort of cash because, shooting mobs, you need ammo. But as far as me just getting back to basics, as you were saying, I just looked at it, a game that I always wanted to play, and I'm like, oh, Bloodstained. And I was thinking, oh, man, Mighty Number 9. But, it looks like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Let's give it a shot. I gave it a shot, and I was very surprised. It was based off a Kickstarter. I made the review on it here. And it was originally $500,000 for a Kickstarter. And then they raised $5.5 million. They were able to get David Hayter in there. I mean, like, I outlined it all in that one video, because whenever I do a retro review, it's immediate. It's just off the cuff. It's just me talking. I beat the game. During the credits, I hit the record button. I just start rambling. Rambling and talking about my thoughts as the ending's happening. You're getting it fresh as hell, because that's just me talking about it on the spot. And, yeah, I had so much fun playing that game. I was streaming it, of course, and just when I realized it's like, there's crafting in that game, there's story, there's backtracking, there's New Game Plus, There's new characters you can unlock. They're still updating it. There's bug fixes. They added a classic mode, boss rush mode, added new characters. Oh, man. I mean, and then there's food. And then the food is how you heal, but then when you actually take it the first time you use it, you get like life up bonuses or, constitution bonuses, HP up, strength up, vitality up, mana up, and like everything played into something. And then you would fight enemies, like you would fight like, I don't know, like a underwater
I saw that he
fish
also
type
fixed that
monster. You
because
kill it,
one of his first
and then
ones said
the
like
drop it
minus
has
100%
is like
headshot
a
damage.
fillet,
Like
'cause you
that's
just
not
killed like a
fair.
fish.
Garlic and fat.
So then you can take that fillet and go back and cook with it.
Or as Gordon Ramsay says, a fillet.
Oh, yeah, as a fillet, so... And to me, it's just so crazy. And then in addition to that, you would kill other things that would, I don't know, kill or drop salt. And you could take that salt to salt your food. And then, it's an amazing thing. And then I was just thinking to myself, I'm just having fun. And then the fact that you can switch the dialogue in that game, from Japanese to English immediately. Like, I know on the Resident Evil 2 game, I was always talking about, like, oh, you pick and choose at the beginning, and until you exit out to the very beginning, then you can go back in, change the language, and then go back into the game, and then you can get it. But otherwise, you can't just switch on the fly, bam, 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 save. And, I don't know, it just, again, how is a game, again, that is not a AAA, not backed by hundreds of millions of dollars, how is that better, more consistent, and more just overall entertaining? And again, I just got lost playing the game. I enjoyed it. I was having fun. And that, to me, is what I needed to learn. I needed to stop trying to get my own personal, like, I don't know, satisfaction out of, like, either morphing or creating or hoping something comes about or waiting for updates, waiting for a loot drop or something like that. Again, I have a bad addictive personality. So... with that, when I just was playing the game and I realized I was playing the game just to play the game, I wasn't doing it for rewards, for loot boxes, or anything like that, or just loot. Well, technically, I was looting, but then some people would say that's, I'm hard grinding the enemies to get loot, or just leveling and just things like that. And then I can play the game again, and then the second time I was playing it and just using like a gun instead of like any sword or the whip, and just messing around and just playing the game your way. That's incredibly fun. And when I'm playing it my way, yeah, I think it's great. So from then I switched to that. I beat Bloodstained, and I thought to myself, I always wanted to actually beat Vagrant Story then. And then when I beat Vagrant Story, holy shit, man, that game kicked my ass. Still looks good for a game made 21 years ago, but, back in the day. But then I just started getting on this retro kick, and I'm like, you know what? First I was thinking, okay, I beat Bloodstained. That was a good Castlevania game. And then I was like, wait a minute, there was a game that was also kind of like this, but I wasn't sure if I beat it. I think I did beat it, but I'm pretty sure I used the Game Shark to beat Vagrant Story the first time back in the day. And then I beat it again now. That's my review right there. And then I'm just kind of like, that's fun. And then I was like, wait, in the same vein, there's Final Fantasy Tactics. And I was like, oh shit. So then I played and beat Final Fantasy Tactics. And then now I'm playing like Vandal Hearts, and just because all these games, and I'm just having fun. I'm just enjoying what the game has, enjoying its story, just playing through, and just fun is very subjective, and to just enjoy yourself. Because I thought about it, if you sleep 8 hours, you only have 16 hours left in your day, and then. If you're like me, I just have that addictive personality, and at the end of the night, sometimes I would just get lost in like a YouTube vortex or just watch something, this and that, and the next thing I know, I just lost an hour of just watching whatever bullshit was on YouTube or whatever, or some people might be on social media, whatever, and then you lose an hour. So you already slept for 8 hours. Now you just lost 1 hour of your 16 hours, and then let's say that you go to work for 8 hours, then it takes an hour to get there, hour to come back. That's 10 hours. You only have 6 hours to yourself. And you just wasted 1 hour by screwing around on social media, or like me on YouTube. You have 5 hours. You spend at least maybe an hour eating for whatever other meals you have. You have technically 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, I really need to just get my shit together. And thanks to me finally getting back to this, I hate to say it, but yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. My time in DF2 was amazing, but just I realized that I was the problem. There were just something not clicking, not connecting for me. All the people I met in DF2, thank you guys very much. I'll still be there. I'm not completely giving up this game because, hey, I still got credits. Hopefully he'll have something there, but I mean, as far as daily cosmetics in terms of DF2, I think I'm going to put that on hold. I don't know if I'll get that. If there's something amazing and I want to make a video about it, like as far as that, I'll do it. But any big update, I will cover. When level 50 comes around, that's what I've been waiting for almost a year and a half now for. I mean, I read that roadmap and I was thinking that shit was happening, in the next 6 months. I think it's been about a year and a half now. So, I don't want to say goodbye to it, especially after this game gave me so much. It gave me a community that actually was really cool with me. They showed the support and whatnot. So greatly thanks to you guys. It's definitely been fun. But for me, I think a game like DF2 is something I can't play all the time. But I should enjoy it sparingly. So.
All right, so to conclude the video, obviously the title of the video is No Exit Dead End. And for people who don't live in the States, because I don't know if you guys have cul-de-sacs in other countries. When you go to the end of a cul-de-sac, you'll screw up and you'll be like, oh, I'll just take a shortcut and see if I can get to the next street. It says no exit, and it'll also say dead end. So basically what Angelo's saying is he's not quitting the game completely. He's just taking another route. So he's going to the next street and he's leaving this cul-de-sac, and then eventually he's going to come back and revisit the game. So, let's see where the next destination takes us.
And with that, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully this video answered your questions. Again, this is a pretty long one, probably one of my longer videos I've made outside of my streams. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thanks for being part of my Dead Frontier 2 journey. Hopefully you guys had as much fun as I had, but I know for a fact if I kept on going, I probably would start despising the game, and not due to the fault of the game itself, but because of me, because I'm an idiot. I tell you guys that all the fucking time, so that's nothing new. You guys already know that shit.
Velociraptor brain?
Yeah, exactly. Velociraptor brain. No. Just dino brain. Velociraptors are probably some of the smarter dinos. So they can open doors. I watched Jurassic Park. That shit was legit. I don't know think of the more dumber ones. Probably the little tiny ones that are just frolicking on the bottoms, that are picking up scraps, that don't know anything other than eating and stealing shit. That's probably me. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's what I think. No exit, dead end, for now, at least. All that happened is, instead of becoming a true no exit dead end, I just turned around, took a different route, and eventually I'll swing back around. Level 50, new bosses. We'll see what happens then. Again, guys, thanks very much for coming along on this journey, and I'll see you guys out there. Hold down this fucker. Later. Fucking A, dude, Vin Diesel. Hold up. In that case.
Hey man, he was in my face.
I'm in your face.
See? Fucking Vin Diesel's up in this bitch. And just as fast, because he was in my face, he left. Just like that.
Freeze! Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hold your fire! I'm a human!